Okay, so this is solving one-step equations, part dos. Okay, so now let's do a couple that are a little harder. What if we have negative 8 minus x equals 22, okay? So let's start by making our brick wall. And let's remind ourselves that our goal is to get x by itself, to solve for x. So we're going to use inverse operations. We're going to use opposite operations to undo these operations and get x alone. So first of all, I have a negative 8. So to get that to 0, I have to add 8. Okay, the inverse of negative 8 is adding 8, positive 8. So I'm going to plus 8, but anything I do to one side, I have to do to the other to keep it balanced. Okay, so this goes away, and I'm going to bring this down, but I have to bring down this whole thing. So I'm going to get negative x equals 30. Okay, now, this is not done, because I don't want to solve for negative x. I want to solve for positive x. So here's the thing. I can think of this as negative 1x, right, equals 30. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by negative 1 on both sides. Because when I do negative 1 divided by negative 1, I end up getting positive 1x. And then positive 30 divided by negative 1 is negative 30. Okay? But I remember that I don't write 1x, I just write x equals negative 30. Okay? So now I've got it. So I divided by negative 1 on both sides, always to both sides. And so there's an implied 1 here, negative 1 here. And negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1, so I just get x by itself. 1x is the same thing as x. And then 30 divided by negative 1 is negative 30. So the answer is x equals negative 30. So this actually was a two-step equation. In reality, this was a two-step equation of sorts, okay? Let's check our work. So I think that x is negative 30. I think I have room up here. So I'm going to write the original equation, negative 8 minus negative 30, okay, equals 22. Okay, so keep, change, and I'm going to write equals 22, and then I have to, you can use your calculator, positive 30, these 8 negatives will cancel out 30 of these positives, and I'll be left with 22 positives, so that works. Yay, it checks. Okay. Now, that one was a little tricky because it was kind of like a two-step. I mean, it really was a two-step. And then, let's do one like this. Let's do x divided by 4 equals 26, okay? 26. So what's happening here is x is being divided by 4. So we're going to do the opposite, the inverse of dividing by 4 is multiplying by 4. Okay? So here's what this is going to look like. First of all, brick wall. We have to remember to stay balanced. Okay? Next, The inverse, I'm going to undo this dividing by 4 by doing the inverse. So I'm going to multiply by 4. And I have to do it to both sides. So what happens is 4, I could write this as 4 over 1, okay? And these cancel out. 4 divided by 4, let me show it to you multiplied out. 4 times x over 4. Well, any whole number can be written over 1. And then you multiply this across and you get 4x over 4. And 4 divided by 4 equals 1x. So we just get x by itself. Okay, so these cancel out. We do our equals line, big line for equals. This gives us x by itself. So we're going to write x equals, and then I have to do 26 times 4, and I don't know what that is. Oh, wait, no, I do, because 25 times 4 would be 100. So it's 104. Let me just double check. Yep, 104. Okay, so 104. So let's check our work. So I think that x is 104, so I'm going to put 104 divided by 4 equals 26. And I'm going to put equals 26, and then I'm going to get my calculator out, and I'm going to do 104 divided by 4, and it will come out to be 26, and that checks. Okay, so you might have to watch this again. When it's x divided by something, the inverse is multiplying by that same thing. And then those cancel out and you just get 1x. But we just write x. Okay? So this is part 2. Now I'm going to give you another worksheet with some like this, okay? And then in a day or two, we're going to move on to 2-step, okay? Good job. Thank you, Ishukran.